Okay, now look at these questions. For example, I am taking few problems from our material only. Later you check these problems from our material. Okay. Look at this first problem. Two circular coils made of two identical wires. Two circular coils made of two identical wires. Here, very important point is wires are identical, both have same length 20 centimeter. This is a very important point. And in the last line, they are asking you to calculate the ratio of magnetic inductions at the centers. Actually, for a circular coil, magnetic induction B is equal to mu naught N I by 2R. What is mu naught? In the previous class I told mu naught is called permeability of free space. Permeability of free space. The value of mu naught is equal to 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7 Henry per meter. 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7. Remember that value, mu naught is equal to 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7. Suppose somewhere if you want in any numerical, if you want mu naught by 4 pi, it is 10 to the power of minus 7 simply. 4 pi get cancelled. So, you have to remember that point. Anyway, B is equal to mu naught Ni by 2R. Actually, let me go to the simple concept. Suppose if there are two different coils are there, you can write that B1 by B2 is equal to magnetic inductions at the centers ratio N1 by N2 into R2 by R1 can be written. N1 by N2 into R2 by R1 can be written. You have to use this formula when the two coils are differently oriented. Oriented in the sense differently made, different turns, different radii. But in this particular problem, they told both the coils are made of same wire 20 centimeter. That means length of the wire taken is same. The wire is taken, that same wire is used for one coil, the same wire is used for the other coil. Therefore, length of the wire is equal to, because it is made a circular coil, for every circle 2 pi r into number of turns. So, the total length of the coil becomes 2 pi r n. Because the length is constant, we can formulate R1 N1 is equal to R2 N2. So, this formula we have to use when the same wire in the sense a wire of same length is bent into two different coils. Now, you have to go to the data. What the data gave? In this data they gave number of turns as 9 and 3. They did not give the radius. In this question they did not give the radius. Number of turns are given. So, you have to eliminate the radius. But here R2 by R1 is there. So, from this formula R2 by R1 is equal to N1 by N2 from this formula. So, substitute, this is equal to B1 by B2 is equal to N1 by N2 into R2 by R1. R2 by R1 we got N1 by N2. So, again N1 by N2. So, finally, the formula B1 by B2 is equal to N1 square by N2 square. N1 is 9, N2 is 3, 9 by 3, 9 by 3 and 3, 3 whole square. Answer is 9:1. Like that we have to calculate. Suppose tomorrow they may give, instead of number of turns, they may give radius. Radius of the coils are given, number of turns are not given, then you have to eliminate number of turns. How to eliminate? Same formula. N1 by N2 is equal to R2 by R1. So, if you take this formula, B1 by B2 is equal to first N1 by N2, but what I told, number of turns are not given. So, but number of turns N1 by N2 is equal to R2 by R1. So, R2 by R1 into already R2 by R1 is there. So, finally, B1 by B2 is equal to R2 square by R1 square. So, these are the two different formulae depending on the data. Again I am telling, if number of turns are given, this is the formula. If radii are given, this is the formula, provided the coils are made of same wire. Same wire. If the coils are made of two different wires, this you have to take, this you have to take. So, like that we have to be very careful in doing the problems. So, it all depends on the data given in the question. Now, let me go to the second one. Look here, an electron revolves in a circle of radius with a speed something. In the hydrogen atom, magnetic field produces the center. Now, an electron is moving in the circle. Electron is moving in the circle means it is nothing but a current loop. Electron flow is nothing but current. Therefore, current loop is there. Now, let us go to the formula B is equal to mu naught Ni by 2R. All these formulae are given in my notes. That is why I selected the problem directly. I am going to the notes. So, mu naught Ni by 2R. Suppose if you take one loop, one turn, one rotation, number of turns become 1, and this is equal to mu naught by 2R into I. I think you know that I is equal to Q by T, where that T can be written as capital T because I took one turn, one loop, one turn, one rotation, that is the time period. And also you can also say that mu naught by 2R into Q 1 by T, reciprocal of time period is called frequency. So, you can write like this also, where I mean F is the frequency. Otherwise, mu naught by 2R, I am trying to give all possibilities. Later I will come to the question. So, Q by T, time. Actually, time is equal to distance by velocity. Time is equal to distance by velocity. If I take one turn, one loop, one rotation, time 2 pi r distance by velocity. So, finally, this formula becomes mu naught by 4 pi r square into Q into V. This all depends on the question. Question may be given in terms of frequency, in terms of time period, in terms of velocity. Sometimes they may give angular velocity. How to write the angular velocity here? How to introduce r omega? Because you know V is equal to r omega. Then the formula becomes B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi Q omega by r. One r get cancelled. So, this is the magnetic induction at the center when a charged particle, of course charged particle I told this is electron. So, charge you know 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. So, it all depends. So, in this particular question now if I come they gave radius and velocity. Which formula I have to select? This formula. I have to select mu naught by 4 pi into Q V by r square. Q, charge of the electron 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, velocity is given, radius is given. So, from this by substituting the values we can get the answer. So, this is another, all these applications you have to remember, this is related to only this formula. Okay, this is based on this, but they can give tomorrow frequency, time period may be given, angular speed may be given, anything. You must be ready to answer any type of question. Now, go through this third question. Two concentric circular coils AB have radii and currents are given. This is very simple because these are quite totally two different coils. Because these are totally two different coils. Therefore, as I told earlier, B1 by B2 is equal to, number of turns are changing, N1 by N2. Let me write the actual formula, B is equal to mu naught N I by 2R. Therefore, N1 by N2, I1 by I2 and R2 by R1. Because radii are different, currents are different, number of turns are also different. So, substitute the values properly and I think 100% you will get the answer. So, depending on the data only, every problem here depends on the data. Look at this again, another question. These are all in your second exercise. Please go through those actually once again. two identical coils have common center, see here, common center, their planes are right angles. Here there is a question, for example, two coils, one coil is this, another coil is this. Imagine one inside the other, one inside the other, so that the center is common. So, the magnetic induction because of this is perpendicular to this coil. Magnetic induction because of the second coil is perpendicular to that plane. So, if the angle between the two coils is theta, angle between B1, B2 is also theta. So, what is the formula you have to know? B is equal to root of vectorial B1 square plus B2 square plus 2 B1 B2 cos theta. Because the two magnetic inductions produced by two different coils are at an angle B1 at an angle theta. But here in this case they told that planes are perpendicular, right angles and perpendicular. So, B is equal to root of B1 square plus B2 square. Because the planes of the coils are perpendicular, magnetic fields will also be perpendicular. So, this is the formula for this. But tomorrow if they say that if there is some angle between the planes of the coils, if there is some angle between the planes of the coils, we have to use this formula. Okay. So, like that individually they told B is the induction, because they are perpendicular you have to use this formula B1 square plus B2 square. So, answer is very simple, B root 2. So, this is another model. Look at this. A circular arc subtends an angle. If you remember yesterday, I think I told, yesterday means in the last class I told B is equal to mu naught I theta by, if I remember, 4 pi r square. If I remember properly, this is the formula. Magnetic induction due to a arc shaped conductor, magnetic induction due to an arc shaped conductor at the center here. Using Biot-Savart law I derived, refer our notes, according to our notes take the formula and just simply substitute theta as pi by 2. Actually without going to this also we can say, because magnetic induction due to a complete coil B is equal to mu naught Ni by 2 r, pi by 2, arc pi by 2 and it is nothing but a semicircle. So, in the case of a semicircle means circle, semicircle. So, circle if it is B, semicircle is B by 2. So, simply B is equal to mu naught Ni by 4 r. So, mu naught Ni by 4 r, 4 r semicircle, pi by 2 means not semicircle, not semicircle. Once again I will write please. B is equal to mu naught I by 2 r, because number of turns are not mentioned. That is for circle. Semicircle means, right kada, semicircle pi by 2, 90 degrees, right, semicircle ka, this is pi by 2. So, this is pi by 2. So, 1/4 of the circle. Semicircle means it will be 180 and a pi. If this is pi, it is a semicircle, because this is pi by 2, 90 degrees. So, 1/4 of the circle. So, answer given is right, mu naught I by, already 2 r is there, 1/4 and 8 r. This is the right answer. Okay, then next look here, look at this point. A circular coil of wire of radius r has a number of turns I, magnetic induction at the point on the axis at a distance. So, what is the formula? You have to remember the formula I told, mu naught N I r square by, this is the formula. Simply substitute x is equal to 3 r, root 3 r. So, this becomes x is equal to root 3 r whole square, and this becomes 3 r square, 3 r square plus r square, 4 r square, 4 r square whole power 3 by 2. First work out half, 4 r square power half and 2 r whole cube, 8 r, totally you will get 16. Verify the solution and remember this formula. Next, go through this. A circular coil of radius A has R radius, current is flowing. Another circular coil of radius 2R, if 2I is the current through it, the magnetic induction at the center. Simple. B is equal to mu naught Ni by 2R. What are the variables? R, 2R, and currents I, 2I. Okay. So, number of turns you have to take same. Current flowing through the coil only means they have taken the same coil in the sense same turns, same coil and not radius is same. Here number of turns are same because that was not mentioned. So, simply substitute and any changes if at all there, I think you will get 1:1. Let me verify. I1 by I2, I1 by I2 is 2I and R2 by R1, R2 is 2R, R1 is R. So, this is what? B1 by B2. So, I will get 1 by 1, 1:1 is the answer. Okay. Next, two circular coils of radii 20 and 30 having number of turns 50 and 100, they are connected in series. Very important, very important formula, very important question. Let me explain. Here two coils are connected in series like this. When they are connected in series, what is the condition? Current will be the same. Current will be the same. So, therefore, B is equal to mu naught Ni by 2R in this, B1 by B2 is equal to N1 by N2 into R2 by R1. Because current is same, we can write like that. I think you will get this answer. No problem in getting the answer for this. Number of turns are given, radii are given, you can calculate. But why I am telling this is important means, in the same way, suppose if they give that the coils are in parallel. In the same question will be given, but instead of series, they will say parallel. So, two coils are connected in parallel. Listen very carefully. In parallel combination, currents are not same. Here current is I1, here current is I2. So, in the formula B is equal to mu naught Ni by 2R in this formula, mu naught N by 2R into I. I can be written as I is equal to Ohm's law says that V by R. I is equal to V by R. But in the parallel combination, potential is constant. So, potential is constant. And resistance. Resistance of the coil, if you remember, rho L by A. And L, length of the coil. Careful here. Length of the coil is equal to 2 pi R for 1 turn. And N turns are there, 2 pi Rn. So, L is replaced by 2 pi Rn. Okay, 2 pi Rn. Do not say that A is equal to pi R square. In area pi R square I will write, do not say like that, because area of cross section of the wire, but this is the area, this is the R means radius of the coil. But in this area you can write it as pi R square like this. I mean this capital R is the radius of the wire. But here R is the radius of the loop, try to understand the difference. So, 2 pi Rn is written. So, N get cancelled, substitute carefully, N get cancelled, and finally you get that P proportional to R square. B proportional to 1 by R square will get, N get cancelled. That means in the parallel combination, number of turns are independent. So, please solve this leisurely, whatever I told, take this idea and solve this final. So, the same question if they give parallel, do not bother about the number of turns, do not bother, simply R2 square by R1 square, 9:1 is the answer for this, 9:4 is the answer for this. So, series combination, especially parallel. So, after the class work is over, please work out this and verify this and remember this. These are all very important points. Let me go to another question. An orbit of radius electron is moving, frequency, as I told earlier, frequency is given. So, what is the formula? B is equal to mu naught Ni by 2r. Of course, I am taking n as 1, 2r. I is equal to q by t, and mu naught by 2r into q by t, time period is reciprocal of time period is frequency. Now, I think it is over. Q charge, electron charge, you know. Frequency they gave, radius they gave, into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. Angstrom must be converted into meters and simply calculate. Next, electric current in a circular coil of 2 turns produces a magnetic field 0.2 Tesla. At the center, the coil is unwound and rewound into 4 turns. I told us in the last one of the problem, coil is rewound in the sense same wire, same length of the wire. So, I have to take R1 N1 is equal to R2 N2, R2 N2. So, here they gave only number of turns. I think if I remember, B1 by B2 is equal to, actual formula is N1 by N2 into R2 by R1. Because they gave the number of turns, you have to eliminate the radius, R2 by R1, R2 by R1. From this, it is again N1 by N2. So, finally, you will get N1 square by N2 square. This model I told. Only thing you have to understand is, because the coil is unwound and rewound, wire is same. I mean, length of the wire is same. Next, in an atom, time period is given, radius is given, again same. B is equal to mu naught Ni by 2r. Of course, n I am taking one rotation. So, mu naught by 2r. What is the data? Time period. So, q by t, q by time period, because they gave the time period and radius. Q charge, you know, radius again you have to convert into angstroms into say meter, 0.5 into 10 power of minus 10. So, like that we have to do. So, these are the few problems. I am not saying everything was done, but as far as the exam syllabus is concerned, almost 99.9% was done. Please go through all. Even in the third exercise also you have to do few problems, work out as many as you can, and if you get any doubt, please post the doubts to my number. Definitely I will be trying to answer those questions. So, try to do the exam well. As usual, you prepare well for the exam. Exercise 1 I told yesterday only, do not forget the exercise 1, because in this chapter, particularly in this chapter, exercise 1 is the most important thing rather than numerical. Let us meet again in the next class. Thank you for today.